One of Hollywood's most beloved actresses sat down for what should have been a routine interview, only to face a host seemingly set on tearing her apart live on air. This intense confrontation between Jennifer Lawrence and Joy Behar left viewers stunned and kept social media buzzing for weeks. But before we dive into the full story, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave a comment below telling us what you think really happened. Now, let's break down what went down on this unforgettable episode of The View. Jennifer Lawrence entered the View set on that Tuesday morning with her signature smile, waving to the audience as she made her way to her seat. She was there to promote her latest movie. A dramatic thriller already getting serious Oscar buzz, the audience cheered with excitement, thrilled to see the Academy Award winner who had won hearts around the world with her down-to-earth charm and undeniable talent. Joy, sitting at the panel, wore a smile that didn't quite seem genuine. From the moment Jennifer took her seat, there was something noticeably off about Joy's demeanor. While the other co-hosts greeted Jennifer warmly, Joy appeared to be analyzing her closely, creating an undercurrent of tension that filled the studio. "So Jennifer," Joy began, her voice carrying a subtle edge that instantly caught Jennifer's attention. "You're here to promote yet another movie where you play a strong female lead? Don't you think you're becoming a bit typecast?" Jennifer raised her eyebrows slightly, surprised by the confrontational tone of the first question. She quickly regained her composure. "Well, Joy," she replied, "I think strong female characters are exactly what Hollywood needs more of. I'm proud to be part of stories that show women as fully developed individuals, not just supporting roles in someone else's narrative." "But isn't it a bit convenient," Joy pressed on, leaning forward with a smirk, "that you keep landing roles that make you seem like a feminist icon when in reality you're just a pretty face? Who got lucky with the Hunger Games?" The room grew tense. The other hosts shifted in their seats uncomfortably. Whoopi Goldberg gave Joy a sharp glance, trying to rein her in. But Joy kept pushing forward. The audience grew silent, fully sensing the growing hostility. Jennifer's smile faded briefly, but she quickly composed herself again. "I think my body of work speaks for itself, Joy," she said calmly. "I've been fortunate to collaborate with amazing directors and bring meaningful stories to life. What I do takes long days, physical risk, and dedication. Luck isn't really part of the equation when you're doing your own stunts for 14 hours a day." "Oh, please," Joy scoffed, rolling her eyes. "Let's be real. You fell on your face at the Oscars. You've said some questionable things politically, and now you want us to believe you're a serious actress? Isn't it time to admit your prime may be behind you?" The studio went absolutely quiet. Even the camera crew seemed frozen in disbelief at Joy's audacity. Jennifer's jaw clenched, and for the first time during the interview, her famously relaxed attitude began to crack. "I'm sorry, what exactly is going on here?" she asked, her voice steady but with a sharp edge. "I came here to discuss my film and connect with your viewers about a project I deeply care about. I didn't expect a personal attack from someone who clearly has an issue with me." Joy let out a laugh, but it was cold and sharp. "A personal issue? Sweetheart, I'm just asking what others are too polite to say. You've coasted on your America's sweetheart image long enough. Some of us remember when you were just an unknown actress from Kentucky hoping for a break." "There's absolutely nothing wrong with being from Kentucky," Jennifer snapped, her voice rising, "and there's nothing wrong with building a career through hard work. What I don't understand is why you feel the need to tear down another woman on national TV. Isn't that the opposite of what we should be doing?" The co-host tried to step in, with Sarah Ann gently attempting to guide the conversation back to the film. But Joy wouldn't let it go, raising a hand to silence. Her fellow panelists, Joy kept her eyes locked on Jennifer. "Don't turn this into a women supporting women speech," she shot back. "This is about accountability. It's about calling out someone who coasts on her looks and fake relatability instead of proving she really deserves her success." Jennifer suddenly stood up, the scraping of her chair echoing across the set. The abrupt move startled everyone, including the production team, who scrambled to adjust their shots. Her cheeks were flushed, and her voice rang out with unmistakable strength. "You know what, Joy? I've been in this industry long enough to spot jealousy when I see it. I've worked with legends, actors, directors, journalists, and never, not once, have I seen someone behave as cruel and unprofessional as you are right now. Joy's face darkened. Jealous? Of what? She snapped. Your talent for falling flat on stage? Your long list of cringeworthy interviews? Please do tell what I should be jealous of. How about the fact that people actually want to work with me? Jennifer fired back, her voice cutting through the air. How about this? When I walk into a room, people don't rush to find the nearest exit. How about the fact that I've built a career without tearing others down just to make myself feel important? The audience reacted instantly. Gasps echoed through the studio, and several people started whispering in disbelief. No one had expected the interview to take such a sharp, uncomfortable turn. Joy's face flushed deep red. Her grip on the note card was so tight, her knuckles turned white. Then, without warning, she slammed her cards on the table. The sound echoed loudly across the studio. Excuse me? She snapped. You're seriously going to lecture me about professionalism? I've been in this business longer than you've even been alive, sweetheart. Then start acting like it, Jennifer fired back, not missing a beat. Because right now, you're behaving like a bitter host who forgot this show is about interviewing guests, not attacking them for entertainment. The other hosts were stunned, clearly uncomfortable. Whoopi tried to regain control. Ladies, maybe we should just take a breath and no. Joy cut her off sharply, jabbing a finger toward Whoopi. I'm not backing down. Someone needs to say what we're all thinking. She walks around Hollywood like she's untouchable, like she's some acting prodigy. But in truth, she's just been lucky, right place, right time. Jennifer let out a dry, sharp laugh. Lucky? You think it was luck that got me through? Months of brutal auditions for the Hunger Games? That it was luck that helped me become Katniss Everdeen and connect with millions of people? That it was luck I won an Oscar at 22? I think, Joy said coolly, voice thick with condescension, you fit into a costume and recited someone else's lines. Let's not pretend you're Meryl Streep. A heavy silence filled the room. The audience watched, frozen between shock and fascination. Even the camera crew scrambled to capture every frame of this live television meltdown. Jennifer's eyes were blazing. You want to talk about reciting lines? Fine, let's talk about you. Sitting at this desk, reading jokes written by someone else, tossing out insults at people who are actually creating something meaningful. When's the last time you did anything that took real talent, Joy? Joy hissed, standing so abruptly her chair rolled backward. I've been entertaining people and discussing real issues for decades. I don't need a 20-something actress to school me on talent. Entertaining? Jennifer's voice matched Joy's volume. You call this entertaining? Because from here, it looks like you're clinging to relevance by attacking someone who's actually built something worthwhile. The tension in the studio was so thick, it felt like the air had stopped moving. Behind the cameras, production assistants rushed around, unsure if they should cut to a commercial or let the confrontation roll on. The other hosts gave up trying to intervene. They just sat in silence, stunned by what was unfolding. Joy's face had turned beet red, and when she opened her mouth again, spit flew out with her words. Accomplished? She barked. You want to talk about accomplishments? I've been on TV longer than you've been alive. I've interviewed presidents, celebrities, world leaders. My career has lasted longer than most people's marriages. Jennifer's tone suddenly dropped to ice. And yet with all that experience, you're using it to belittle a guest on your own show. Is that how you want people to remember you? As the host who felt so threatened by a younger woman that she tried to humiliate her on national TV? Joy's eyes narrowed into sharp slits. Threatened by you? That's laughable. What threatens me is mediocrity being celebrated as excellence. Entitled little girls who expect the world to respect them just because they've been in a few films? Jennifer's calm cracked. I've been nominated for 4 Academy Awards. I've won 1. I've worked with David O. Russell, Francis Lawrence, Adam McKay, some of the most respected names in this industry. My movies have earned over $6 billion worldwide. But please, go on, tell me more about how I'm just another spoiled little girl." The audience let out another collective gasp. In the front row, people were literally leaning forward, completely absorbed in the raw emotion playing out in front of them. Joy threw up her hands in frustration, dramatic and furious. There it is, the ego, the self-importance. You're standing there listing off your resume like it's supposed to impress me. Newsflash, sweetheart, box office numbers don't equal talent. "You're absolutely right," Jennifer replied, her voice turning icy. "Which is why I'm not going to stand here and recite every award, nomination, or glowing review I've received. Because in the end, none of that matters as much as basic human decency, and that's something you clearly lack." Joy stepped closer, her voice dropping to a dangerous whisper that still came through loud and clear. "Human decency? You're going to lecture me on that? You're the one making political statements. You have no business making, polluting young minds with your half-formed opinions." "My political statements?" Jennifer's brows lifted. "You mean my right as an American citizen to speak my mind? The same right you exercise on this show every day? Or are you saying only talk show hosts are allowed to have opinions?" "I'm saying," Joy snapped, "that when you have a platform, you have a duty to use it wisely. Not to run your mouth about things you don't fully understand just because fame makes you think you're qualified." Jennifer let out a sharp, humorless laugh. "That's rich coming from someone who made a career out of shouting over others. At least when I speak, I don't hide behind a table full of co-hosts." The other women looked stunned. Sarah Haynes stared down at her hands. Whoopi shook her head in disbelief. The guest co-host seemed to wish she could melt into her seat behind. The scenes, producers scrambled, whispering frantically into their headsets. Joy's voice rose to a shriek. "You think you're so clever, don't you? That you can walk in here and make me look like the villain? Let me tell you something, little girl. I've dealt with spoiled Hollywood brats longer than you've been alive. And I'm not about to let some Oscar winner with an ego come in and walk all over me." "Spoiled?" Jennifer's voice trembled. "With fury. I grew up in a working-class family in Kentucky. My parents worked themselves to the bone to support us. I've never forgotten where I came from, and I've never taken a single thing I've earned for granted. But you judging people from your pedestal, calling them spoiled just because they succeeded, that's what's truly disgusting." The room fell silent. You could hear the hum of the air conditioning and the faint buzz of the studio lights. Everyone was frozen, watching a raw confrontation unfold. Joy leaned across the table, her face twisted in rage, pointing directly at Jennifer. "Don't try that small-town sweetheart act on me. I've seen this game played before, actresses pretending to be relatable to win sympathy from the audience." Jennifer's eyes darkened. "Relatable? You want to talk about fake? What you're doing right now is the fakest thing in this room. You're willing to ruin your own show's reputation for a few viral clips. That's not passion. That's desperation." Joy slammed her hand on the table, sending her coffee mug bouncing. "My show's reputation?" she screeched. "We've been successful for over 20 years. We don't need some flash-in-the-pan actress for credibility." "Flash in the pan?" Jennifer took a step forward, matching Joy's fire. "I've been building my career for over 15 years across indie films, major blockbusters, TV, everything. But you're too bitter to see anything but your own resentment." By now, people in the audience were filming on their phones, despite the strict rules. The energy was intense, two powerful women clashing with no filter. Joy slammed her hand again, her voice sharp and furious. "You know what I can't stand? Mediocrity being hailed as brilliance. Just because you can cry on cue and look good in a dress doesn't make you an artist." Jennifer leaned in, her voice dropping to a chilling whisper. "Now I get it. This isn't about politics or film. This is about you sitting in that chair, day after day, watching younger, more talented people achieve everything you never could." Joy went pale, then red, her jaw clenched. "How dare you?" she whispered. "You walk into my house and try to psychoanalyze me like you're some two-bit therapist? Your house?" Jennifer scoffed bitterly. "This isn't your house, Joy. It's a TV studio. You work here. And if this is how you treat your guests, I can't imagine how you treat people in your personal life. Joy shot up from her seat so violently her chair crashed into the wall. That's it! I'm not sitting here while this disrespectful brat tears me down on my own show. Jennifer roared, her voice cutting through the silence. Disrespectful? You started this whole thing by calling me a pretty face who got lucky. You've spent 20 minutes trying to humiliate me, and now you're upset because I'm not taking it lying down? Whoopi finally stood, stepping between the two. Ladies, this has gone too far. We need to calm down. Joy pointed at Whoopi, never breaking eye contact with Jennifer. Don't defend her. She came in with a chip on her shoulder, and now she's showing her true colors. Jennifer laughed, a cold, stunned sound. My true colors? I respect people until they prove they don't deserve it? Your true colors? You're a bitter, envious woman who tries to drag others down just because they're more successful. The audience was stunned. People were covering their mouths, eyes wide. Camera crews scrambled to catch every moment of the meltdown. Joy's voice cracked into a high, shaky pitch. More successful? So, you think landing a few movie roles makes you more important than someone who's been a staple of American television for decades? Joy's tone was biting. You think your award speeches and designer gowns mean something in the real world? She added, her voice rising. Jennifer didn't flinch. Her voice was calm, steady, even as chaos buzzed around them. I think, she said slowly, that real success is measured by how you treat people, not how long you've been on TV. And by that standard, you're failing miserably right now. Joy's mask cracked. Failing? You're calling me a failure? She snapped. You're the one who's about to be remembered as a spoiled little actress who couldn't handle a tough interview. You're going to walk out of here looking like a total amateur. You're right about one thing, Jennifer replied, stepping back from the table and smoothing her dress with quiet dignity. I'm going to walk out. Because I respect myself too much to stay in this circus any longer. The tension was electric. Her words hit like a challenge. Joy blinked in disbelief, clearly not expecting Jennifer to actually walk away. You can't just leave, she stammered, her confidence wobbling. You're under contract to finish the segment. Jennifer's smile was icy. Watch me. I showed up as a professional to talk about my film and connect with your viewers. Instead, I've been attacked by someone carrying around personal baggage that has nothing to do with me. Behind them, the other hosts scrambled to defuse the escalating scene. Sarah Haynes stood up, visibly shaken. Jennifer, please don't. Go, she begged. We can start over, talk about your movie, have a real conversation. Jennifer turned to her, her expression softening. I appreciate that, Sarah. I truly do. But I can't sit here and pretend what just happened was. Okay. I have too much respect for myself and for my fans to keep playing along. Joy's panic was now written all over her face. The reality of what she'd done was crashing down hard. You're making a mistake, she said, her voice cracking with emotion. You're going to regret this. Jennifer stopped and turned to her one last time. The only thing I regret, she said coldly, is wasting 30 minutes of my life trying to have a rational conversation with someone who clearly has no interest in reason or civility. The audience was frozen, silent, some were even in tears, stunned by the emotional collapse of what should have been a friendly appearance. What they were witnessing felt too real to be TV. Still clinging to control, Joy made one final attempt. You think you can storm off and make me look like the villain? She snapped. Everyone's going to see this for what it really is. A spoiled actress throwing a tantrum because she didn't get soft questions. Jennifer paused at the edge of the stage. She turned back, her gaze unshakable. You're right, Joy. People will see exactly what this is. They'll see a veteran host so threatened by a younger woman's success that she lashed out live on national television. They'll see someone who forgot that her job is to inform and entertain, not to bully and shame her guests. Jennifer took a breath, her voice growing stronger. But most importantly, they'll see what happens when someone finally stands up to a bully. They'll learn that having a microphone doesn't give you the right to treat others like garbage. Joy's face went pale. The fight drained out of her as she sank into her chair. "This isn't over," she mumbled, though the fire in her voice was gone. Jennifer's voice rang out loud and clear across the studio. "You're right. This isn't over. Because now everyone knows who you really are, Joy Behar, and they know who I am too. I'm someone who won't be pushed around, I won't be intimidated. And I won't tolerate toxicity, not from anyone." And with that, Jennifer turned and walked off the stage. The only sound was the echo of her heels clicking across the studio floor. The camera followed her through the backstage door, leaving behind stunned co-hosts and an audience struggling to process what had just unfolded. Joy sat motionless, staring at the empty space where Jennifer had stood just moments ago. The consequences of her actions had finally caught up to her. The other hosts exchanged nervous glances, unsure how to move forward, unsure of what to say next. And there you have it, the jaw-dropping confrontation that had everyone talking. What's your take? Did Jennifer Lawrence do the right thing walking out? Or did Joy Behar simply push the boundaries of tough journalism? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more celebrity moments that no one saw coming.